Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Francia, and on this channel, we do a little bit of everything. But lately, I have been interested in true crime. And if you're interested as well, I hope you hit your subscribe button and your notification bell so that you always know when I upload. Y'all, I sat down to record this video and the lawn people are here. So I apologize if you can hear that. I didn't post on Thursday, but I am back. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I am so happy to be back, y'all, but apparently my voice can't stay good for 2 seconds. I'm not sick this time, but I did have a lot of fun on Thanksgiving, and my voice decided that it was gonna go, and it has not been the same. So I kind of sound like a dude, and my upper register is not working. Yeah. But it was fun, and I am glad to be back. So, yeah, welcome back, you guys. Let's get into today's video. We are going over to Scotland today. Okay, I don't have the best Scottish accent, so excuse me in advance. But today's story is about an American Scottish serial killer who was convicted of unaliving about 7 people across the Lanarkshire, one of those, between 1956 and 1958, although it is believed that he did unalive a lot more people than just 7. Who exactly are we talking about? Let's get into it. Peter Thomas Anthony Manuel was born on March 13, 1927 in New York City to Scottish parents. In 1932, they decided to migrate back to Scotland permanently, the Birkenshaw area to be exact, when Peter was about 6 years old. Now, Peter here may not have had the best childhood. I couldn't get a lot of details, but it was said that he was bullied a lot as a child, and by the time he was 10 years old, he was on first name basis, literally, with the police, because he was a professional thief. Like, he just was stealing stuff. Homeboy did not know how to stay out of trouble. I will never understand what these people were doing at 10 years old. Okay, and that was the 1930s. That is crazy. I don't know, y'all were built different over here. I don't know. I remember being a kid. I probably was younger than 10, and I was sent to go get something, some sort of an ingredient to bring back to the house so that they could make a meal with. And I remember I sat on the side of the road on my way back and I ate it. I don't remember what it was, but I ate it. I think it was like some of those seasoning cubes. I do not remember. When I tell you, when I got home, my hind parts were lit. My hind parts were lit, okay? They were on fire. They handled my behind, okay? And I never did it again. I never did it again. So I can't even imagine like being in trouble with the police over and over and over again. They're just not afraid. I am terrified of the police. Okay, I have always been terrified of the police. It's not just here because they're like, oh my gosh, there's police committing all these crimes and whatnot. They're killing us. That's not why. I've always been terrified of the police. And if I'm like driving my car and I spot a police car on the same road as me, I literally just want to park my car and be like, just take it or take me to jail. I don't know what I did, but here I am. Do what you need to do. That's how terrified I am. But y'all are made differently over here. But anyways, carrying on. When Peter was 12 years old, he was convicted for burglary. And then he decided that this was not enough. Burglary was just child's play. So by the time he was 15, he had leveled up. He was like, let's do assaults. Let's move on to assaults and let's go assault some people. And that's what he did. By the age of 16, he got involved in a whole lot of sexual assault crimes, and he ended up serving 9 years in prison. Yup. Peter was sent to Peterhead prison to serve out his time. Interesting. Peter to Peterhead. It was said that Peter was diagnosed as a psychopath, so sending him to prison was technically not going to be very helpful, okay? And it for sure was not, because Homeboy did not get rehabilitated in prison. Oh no. When he got out, after serving those 9 years, he decided that it was time to move on to bigger and better things. Yep. Again, like I said, he's a psychopath. He's not going to think, oh no, I get in trouble for this, let me not do it again. No, they don't do remorse or regret or guilt, none of that. No, he's going to find a way to do it bigger and better. So you don't catch him, but he's not going to change, because to these psychopaths, the human life means nothing. And that's why you don't send people to jail who need mental health rehabilitation. But I digress. I guess that's what we do. Now, the way Peter preferred to run his little crime business was to stalk people, break into people's houses, grape some of them, and then shoot and unalive them. So shortly after he got out of prison, he went to work. On January 2nd of 1956, he stalked 17-year-old Anne Nealand, raped and bludgeoned her to death with a length of iron. Oh man, poor girl. Can you imagine? Only 17 years old, man. Dang. Police questioned him about the murder, but they were not able to arrest him because his father here gave him a freaking alibi. Darn it. Why would you do that though, Dad? Why? Is it because you did not believe in the justice system and you thought that if he didn't have an alibi, he wouldn't be able to be proven innocent? Or did something inside you tell you that he in fact did it and you needed to save your son? Asking for a friend, because why would you feel the need to give your son an alibi? Mse kon ba li konen, li pa vle lot moun konel. Paske sil pa fel, pou ki sa oblige bay manti pou li. Ou konon bagay. Vole. 2 years later, in 1958, they would end up charging him with this murder. However, they had to drop all charges against him because they did not have enough evidence. Dang it. Dang it. Ugh, I wish Daddy hadn't done what he did, because a few months later, he was arrested for breaking and entering. He made bail, and while he was awaiting trial, on September 17th of 1956, he broke into this family's home and unalived 45-year-old Marion Watts, her 16-year-old daughter Vivian Watts, and her sister Margaret Brown. Oh man, that's just heartbreaking. For no reason, man. Just for no reason. He just shot all three of them at close range. What a psycho. I'm side-eyeing the dad, because had you not given him an alibi, he probably would have still been in custody and these people probably would have had a chance. And also, if he's got this long history, I know they know he has this long history, why did they let him make bail? I don't know. Maybe they didn't realize how dangerous he was at the time. I don't know. But like I said, he's got like a long record for assault, that is. And he was in for 9 years. Why would you allow him to post bail? I don't know much about the justice system though. I'm just saying, like, he's done a few things. Let's not let him out, you know? But what do I know? Officers that were in charge of finding the person responsible for the triple homicide and the Watts family suspected him, but that's not who they went after. They went after Marion's husband, William Watts. That is who became their main suspect, because why would we not immediately blame the husband? They went after him because he had a community penile, allegedly, and they felt like this was his motive, that he wanted to get his wife out the way. But why the daughter? That made sense to you? What, you thought that he was not trying to leave behind witnesses? If he just wanted to take out his wife, wouldn't he just ambush her somewhere alone? Oh, I don't know, maybe strangle her in her sleep? I don't know. Why would he break into his own house to unalive his wife, his daughter, and sister-in-law just because he's a cheater? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, I know people do some crazy stuff rather than just exiting a marriage, but the math ain't mathin' in this particular case. It doesn't make sense. Their story was that this man, who was away fishing for the week around the time of the murders, drove around 90 miles, broke into his own house, unalived his whole family, and drove back. No, it makes no sense. And then they got two witnesses. One dude said that he saw him that night on the ferry roadway area, whatever. And then a guy driving a motorcycle said that he passed him on the road. So they put William in a lineup, and both of the witnesses picked him out of the lineup. But get this, they had already published his picture. What? You would think that'd be enough for them, but sadly, no. They did end up arresting the poor guy, and then they kept him in jail for 2 months before they realized that there was no way they were going to make those charges stick. It did not make sense. Plus, when they were building their little case and tightening up on their witnesses' testimonies and whatnot, all of a sudden, the ferry guy became mad confused about the type of car William was driving, okay? And the motorcycle guy claimed that he didn't really get a good look at William and that he only recognized him by the way he was holding his cigarette. Excuse me? Sir, they hang these people when they find them guilty. Why would you play with someone's life like this? I'd be so mad. And then when they went to check William's car to see, what his fuel level was looking like, because 90 miles is not next door, that's the little distance, it'll take a few gallons of gas. And his car was looking good on gas. And so they traced back all the gas stations that would be on his way. They interviewed people and they couldn't confirm that he stopped for gas. And then they speculated that maybe he had it with him, like had the gas with him the whole time, one of those big jug thingies. But I am so sorry about this noise. If you can hear this, my apologies. But they couldn't prove that either. So yeah, they had to let him go, but they kept him on their radar. They just wasted all the time and resources on the wrong person. That's crazy. But yeah, he was on their radar until another family was unalived just a few miles from the Watts family. And it was at that point that police realized, okay, perhaps, ladies and gentlemen, we might have, in the words of Kevin Hart, a serial killer on our hand. On December 8th, 1957, Peter unalived 36-year-old taxi driver Sidney Dunn in Newcastle while he was down there looking for a job. That is crazy to me. What, were you just bored and decided to kill the time by unaliving somebody? That's your pastime? Are you serious? Or maybe the job interview didn't go so well and you took it out on the person? Seriously, guy? My goodness. The body was found shortly after, but Peter had already returned to Lanarkshire. I don't know. This particular murder, though, wouldn't be linked to him until way later because it happened in a whole nother city, different jurisdiction, and all that good stuff. So it wasn't on their radar, so to speak. Just 20 days later, on December 28, 1957, 17-year-old Isabel Cook disappeared after leaving her home to go to a school dance. Peter stalked her, raped, and strangled her to death, and then buried her body in a nearby field. He would later lead the police to where he buried her. Oh man, imagine having your little 17-year-old girl. That's sad. That's very sad. Oh. Just a few days later, on January 1st, 1958, Peter broke into another family's home and committed a triple homicide again. He shot and unalived 45-year-old Peter, his 42-year-old wife, Doris, and their 10-year-old son, Michael Smart, while they were sleeping. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. He then decided to stay in the house with the bodies for almost a week. That is sick. That's sick. He was in these people's house with dead bodies, just chilling, eating their leftover food, feeding their cat, like nothing happened. My goodness. And then he stole their banknotes, which I understand to be some sort of a currency type situation. I thought it was a checkbook or something, but it's not. It's currency, money. Yeah. He stole those, took their car, which he dumped later nearby. Oh, the arrogance. It was said that this guy gave a ride, I believe he was in that same car, I could be wrong, to one of the investigators that was working on the case for the 17-year-old Isabel Cook. And I guess they were like having conversation and talking about the murders that have been happening in the neighborhood and chatting it away. Then Peter said that he felt that the detectives weren't looking in the right places. Oh, the cockiness. Now, police had their eye on Peter because they were familiar with him. They suspected him, but they didn't have enough evidence linking him to the crime. So there was nothing that they could do, but their luck would soon change. While they were processing the crime scene over at the Smart house, they noticed that Peter Smart, the victim, had recently made a transaction for some banknotes or currency or money. You know, I'm not sure how to say I'm not sure how to say that. Those big notes. You get what I'm saying. He had gotten about 7 of them just a few days prior on New Year's Eve, and they were nowhere to be found. Now, being familiar with Peter Manuel, the unaliver that is, police knew that homeboy was broke and that he did not have a whole lot of money, but all of a sudden he was going around town, pub to pub, just living his best life, just drinking. So they're like, okay, where did you get the money, homie? Where did you get the money, my guy? So they went back around, got their hands on some of the banknotes, or I think one of the pubs got suspicious and reported it to the police. But anyways, they got their hands on the banknotes, on some of the banknotes that he paid with, took those to the bank. They were able to confirm that yes, Peter Smart did in fact cash a check and print out some banknotes a couple of days prior, and they were able to match the serial number to the bill recovered from whatever Peter Manuel paid with. And they were like, bingo. Bingo. On January 14th, 1958, feeling confident with their little arrest warrant, police went over to the Manuel's residence on Birkenshaw to place Peter under arrest and charge him with the murder of the Smart family and for breaking and entering into another residence. Homeboy was sleeping though when they got there, and when they told him what they were there for, he started getting loud and being verbally abusive, telling them, quote, "You haven't found anything yet. You can't take me," end quote. Boy, if you don't place your hands behind your back. Anyways, he did calm all the way down and ended up leaving peacefully with the officers. And later that evening, he was formally charged with murder and breaking and entering. He agreed to help detectives and also confessed to the murder of the Watts, Isabel Cook, and Ann Nealons. This guy was on another level. When the psycho took the police to the location where he buried Ann's body, he casually just said, quote, "This is the place. In fact, I think I'm standing on her now," end quote. Oh my gosh, what a creep. What a creep. So his trial began, right? This guy was so cocky. He was way too cocky, way too self-assured. He decided that he didn't need a lawyer. He shocked everybody by firing his lawyer and representing himself. Yeah, that's probably where Ted Bundy got his idea from. But anyways, he tried to represent himself. And in his defense, he was saying that Peter Smart was a friend of his who gave him a key to his house, and that Peter Smart was the one who went on the killing spree and unalived his entire family and then unalived himself. Huh? Sir, I don't think you thought that one through. I don't think you did, because why did you have his money, his banknotes? He gave you those too. What about his car that you dumped on the side of the road? Did he tell you to take his car? Did he go to you and say, "Hey, this is what I'm about to do. After I'm done, I need you to use your key, come in, take my banknotes, go spend them on drinks, and then take my car and dump it on the side of the road"? What? That makes no sense. Yeah, you didn't think that one through. You didn't think that one through. And then he tried to use the whole insanity plea thing. How the heck you gonna be mentally stable enough to represent yourself in your own murder trial, but then you want to plead insanity? Huh? Is it me? Am I missing something? Because it doesn't make sense to me at all. Wouldn't you have to be literally insane for you to use the insanity situation? No? Okay. Needless to say, it did not work. He was not able to convince the judge or the jury that he was innocent. So in May of 1958, he was found guilty of 7 murders, even though, like I said before, it is believed that he unalived way more people than that. And on July 11th of 1958, homeboy was hanged at the Barlini prison in Glasgow. He was 31 years old. Contrary to popular belief, he was not the last prisoner to be hung in Scotland. After him, there were like 2 more people who received the same fate. I mean, are we mad? You know, are we upset? I don't know. It's either they rot or they suffer the same fate. And I feel like in a psychopath's mind, rotting doesn't mean anything to them because they don't feel remorse. They do not experience guilt. You know, it really doesn't make sense to let them sit in there and rot knowing that they're not even going to think about what they've done, or they're not going to feel anything about what they've done because they don't, like, to them, they've done nothing wrong, you know? I don't know. Now, there is a little bit of a pushback, opposition, critique, disagreement, whatever you want to call it, regarding his execution. So there's this one doctor, Dr. Goldberg, whose father worked at the prison where Peter was being examined, and he felt like they didn't lean enough into all of his mental state. Like, they didn't take into account the fact that he was a diagnosed psychopath, and had they done that, they might have had a different sentence instead of execution. And yeah, I mean, I get what he is saying, and like I said, we can let them rot, but psychopaths don't feel guilt or remorse or regret or anything like that, so does it really matter? Like, he was past the point of being committed to a mental institution after he done unalived all these people, teenagers and kids included. So no, let that mental health diagnosis sleep. And that's my opinion, you know? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of Peter Thomas Anthony Manuel. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment. Do you agree with this sentence, or do you agree with the doctor that they should have leaned more into his mental health diagnosis of psychopath and potentially given him a life sentence instead of executing him? Comment below. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like this video. I will see you guys in my next one, but until then, I hope to see you in the comment section. Bye.